actually not raining out here this morning, but it's plenty wet, and there's still possible rain in the forecast. And so I fed these guys in the cat hotel again. They will not eat the dry chow if it gets wet. And that spot right there, unless in the absolute hardest of rains, doesn't get wet. So, hey Stripey, hey bud, who slept on the love seat all night and went out at, I don't know, 6 something, and came back in when I got up. And Don's just been to get his paper and got the car out, got Jules out so we can go for our walk. Mr. Man is good. Good morning, Panther. Good morning. Yeah, I think Friday it might actually be sunny. We may or may not get a lot of rain this week, but it's definitely going to stay cloudy with a chance of rain. So it is what it is, but you know what? I'm really glad it's not 85 pushing 90 at the end of May, 1st of June here. We'll take it. We're happy to have a cooler spring and not rush into the summer heat. I have never seen 5 bunnies in one spot before. You just have to take our word. Before the cars, there were 5. You guys should go back into the woods. Didn't think they hung out together. There's a squirrel too. Oh, we're out here. We got up by the alarm this morning so we'd have time to walk before I left for the chiropractor. You're thrilled.
Oh yeah.
Well, 7:45 wasn't that early.
Yeah, it wasn't super bad.
It's not 5:30.
No.
It was daylight.
It was.
And they're banging something over at the church work site this morning. Metal on metal. Something. Big bangs. Well, we're back with our weight vest today. I suspect the walk up literally to South Park this morning that we're going to feel it. At least I will. Don just told me he added more weights to his weight vest.
Yeah.
What in the world are you thinking?
Well, just putting more weight in it. I put three more pounds in it a couple weeks ago.
Okay. I'm still holding at 10. It'll hold 16. And some of the weights in that box with the weights are mine. But I'm holding at 10. 10 is good. I have so much pain in my left shoulder. I really don't. I think for me, the extra weight on my chest while walking can start to be too much a negative. So I'm probably going to continue to hold at 10. Sorry, Donnie.
Sounds good, sweetie.
So I came out of the shower last night and Don was watching Tom Hanks give a graduation address. It wasn't live, but it was recently recorded.
Yeah, it was from Harvard, the graduation this May in Harvard.
Wow.
He was invited to give a commencement speech, and he did a good job. It's very much worthwhile. It's about 20 minutes long. It's got humorous parts and serious parts and parts that makes you think. But one of the things he said, so whenever they miss the trash can, who's going to bend over and pick up the litter? Well, you? Who else? And and so I appreciated that line that I tell Maryann all the time. Well, if we don't pick it up, who else will? And Tom pretty much said there ain't going to be nobody else but you. If you notice something and you don't stop to address it, forget anybody else doing it. They won't do it either. So he said, he was admonished them to not just walk by and ignore things. But it's a well worth. There was other points of the speech, but
he mentioned picking up trash.
But he mentioned picking up litter.
And that hit close to home for us.
Yeah, hit home close to home.
It was kind of funny. Don and I both used the restroom at the park yesterday. And I got out and I said, I picked up XYZ in there because if you don't pick it up, then one more person drops something else. And then everybody thinks they can leave the bathroom a disaster.
Yeah.
And Don's response was, yeah, I put XYZ in the trash also. Yeah. So we're both in the bathroom and we can't even use the restroom without picking up stuff.
Yeah, you would think people would, they have a little trash can in there. You would think they would at least try.
You would think.
You would think.
So it did not open over the weekend, which I'm sure was because it was, yeah, and that's because, you know, the weather was so horrible. But they've taken down the closed for the season sign. I suppose it's possible it opens today. We need a nice, really warm day, and I don't think we're gonna get that till Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure what the white flower is. It's not the kudzu. The kudzu has a purple flower later on. I expect we'd have butterflies and other pollinators on the flower if it was warmer and more summer-like. And it's not Queen Anne's lace, it's something else. It's hard to see the leaf. It almost looks like a sumac leaf. Could be. I'm in Ruby, and she is on 11.4.2. Let's see what else. The roads are pretty dry, except for the driveway and up at the house. I mean, there's a few puddles here and there, but it's supposed to, there's a chance of rain, you know, a good part of the week, and I just can't. I left her parked when it was silly to drive her in the pouring rain right after she was washed, but today it would be kind of silly to leave her parked and not drive her. So anyway, I'm on my way to the chiropractor in Apex. Get on the turnpike. It's 11:35, so I'm a couple minutes later than I should be. Yeah, you can see the road out here is dry. And yes, Maryann, slow back down. It's 35 through here. Used to be 45, but it's 35 now. Let Ruby handle it. Not going to slow here, but I know that that is a very smooth crossing, so at 35 miles an hour that's totally fine. Well, she braked needlessly with a clunk, but she did not come to a full stop because of him. Now this is a tricky light, a stop sign. Turn signal is on. There's nobody coming from the left. She turned the wheel to the left a little bit. I don't understand that. I basically never want her to turn the wheel in the opposite direction of the way I'm going. And she handled it fine, but like I said, there was nobody coming on the left and actually nobody coming on the right. She just nudged me to move the wheel a little bit. I mean, this is just your standard four-way stoplight. I didn't expect her to have any issues there. She could have took off one smidge faster and that would have been good with me. But other than that, that was good. This road must be just wide enough not to matter because she's not having any cautionary issues over here. There is a car following rather close to me from behind. I'll bump it up 1 more mile per hour. And I'm not speeding down this road. I don't care if they're happy with me or not. I can't tell if that's a police officer or not. I actually think it is. It is a state trooper. Yeah, I won't be able to comment on whether or not I think the double yellow line, 2-lane road issue is fixed until I go down by the church and see how she does over there where it's more narrow and where she's really been demonstrating the extra unnecessary caution. We came up on this light and it's green. She did everything great leading up to the light. They have filled in the nasty pothole on that turn, so you don't have to be quite so fearful going around it. She did fine. There's a bag with some empty tackle boxes for Michelle back there, and she went around the corner fast enough to put them over on their side, but that noise wasn't anything serious. See what she does here with these lights on the left. hard to say. I would say nothing. The last set, she slowed drastically, which she's been doing. So this is not a new or a changed behavior. It's just, she does not like these lights on the left when they're red. I should have been filming for the first set, because that's the third set, and sets 2 and 3 didn't seem to bother her too bad, but set 1, she slowed enough. I applied my foot on the accelerator. Yeah, you can change lanes to follow route if you want. Now here, I let her do it because it was clear. Ruby, we don't change lanes in the middle of an intersection. We have 2.2 miles until the right turn, and I'm glad you got over. But we don't change lanes in the middle of an intersection. At least not when there's lots of other opportunities. I understand, you know, there might be some time where it's necessary. So let's just say 98% of the time we don't do it. I just think that's good driving, safe practices. That's what I was taught. How about you guys? You change lanes in the middle of the intersection? Car behind me is not too happy about the slow up. I don't know what she expects me to do. The truck slowed, Ruby slowed for the truck. I mean, it is what it is, and there is a cement barricade there, so someday the road will extend to my left, and maybe the cement will come down and it'll be a full-fledged exit. And this is what they're hooking up all that other construction around town to. It just, currently it ends here. Not for long though. Wow, she'll do great on the turnpike. I'm bumping her up a little bit, the speed. She hasn't read the 70-mile-per-hour sign, and the people behind me are gonna wanna run over me unless I get up over 70, so. I'm up over 70. Ruby had a new message came up, choosing right fork to stay on route. She's saying it again too. Hopefully that's in focus. I've not noticed that before, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's new. Of course, we don't see these extra messages in Jules. Choosing right fork, huh? Well, I like description, so that's good. Now this is one of those free-flowing exit lanes. She came off of there just a little wide. That truck wasn't too happy with her. All right, I'm not waiting for her to pull over at the very last minute, so I put my foot on the accelerator and I put on the turn signal, because as Don and I found out, she tends to wait to the very end of the lane and then immediately want to move over, and that's not always an option. There were a lot of cars behind me, so I didn't disengage, but I might as well have taken over. No turn signal there. I would have preferred a turn signal, even though she had the lane. Okay, well, she stayed in the lane she needed to after momentarily going into the wrong, what I would call the wrong lane. I disengaged and took over. She moved the wheel to the right when she should have just been creeping forward or patiently waiting, and I didn't like that, so I grabbed the wheel. Not saying that she wasn't going to handle it, just that the human driver's comfort level wasn't there on that one. One of these businesses here must be closed. A lot less cars in the parking lot than normal for a Tuesday, a non-holiday. I realized yesterday was the holiday, but we pulsed my knee today. It's feeling pretty good right now. It's been doing better. The left one. I used to complain about the right one, but now it's the left one. I like how she waits until I get past. You're not going to open the rest of the way now that I paused too slow? Okay, well, at least you're popped open. Well, Ruby sure is looking pretty today. Just taking a minute to enjoy her while she's all clean, lest I get caught in a rain shower. Don always does such a nice job. I'm popping into the Goodwill because it's right here and I have time. I mean, literally, I could walk from the chiropractor's office. It's so close. Very frustrating checking out in there today. Took forever. Oh well. There's a hand towel and then a cute Grogu blanket towel hoodie thing. The hand towel's for me, the Grogu is for Michelle. I don't think I've let Ruby try to get between Goodwill and Guardian Angel Apex before. Of course, I'm just invoked it in front of the fire station over here, not the full time. Let's not run into the sign. There wasn't anybody coming. Maybe you wouldn't have, but I'd like to give it a little more clearance since there was nobody coming the other way. Looked like a metal sign, not a fabric sign. Let's not test it. Up on an interesting intersection up here, so I'll keep filming. There's a railroad tracks and it's a little extra wide, and I don't know, it's kind of different. It's 12:20 p.m. I don't know what to do with myself not having to worry about what time to be downtown. It takes all the math out of the fun math out of the day. Trying to manage my time. I will relax into the more free time, less stress way of life. I'm just still adapting. I'm having to remind myself I don't need to be downtown. I don't need to be downtown. Did that okay, a little bit of a slow after the railroad tracks. Now I need to make a left here. Oh, I didn't put in where I'm going, silly girl. Yeah, that happens sometimes with this car. You hit the wipers for the turn signal and it does the wipers. Not a lot, not annoyingly so, but it does happen. And that was sort of like a last minute maneuver there. Well, if I had navigated where I was going, she could have made the turn into the parking lot. There's somebody in my space. There's the Kia Niro we see from time to time with the blue trim. The Eco Electric. I saw one Model 3 when I drove around on the other side over there, and here's a Y and a 3. Pennsylvania. Bugs. North Carolina. There's a red 3 as well. This is the one I had seen before. Maryland. North Carolina. I think those are all Hertz cars. One can never be too sure in this parking lot. Here's a Polestar. And I do believe that is a Hertz car also. I think we've seen the Polestar one time before. Oh wow, look at the owls and look at the frogs, and I guess the geisha girls. This is Okinawa souvenirs. And this guy, wow. Oh, that's all Okinawa with the seashells. Huh. There's the kitty puppy shelf. Pirates. Cowboys. Michelle's been looking for a very unique bird cage, and this one fits the bill. It might look more like a fox than a cat, but I think it has to come home. And it's not really resin and it's not really cement. It's something in between. First time using my 55-year-old senior citizens discount today. At least I bought a piece of jewelry for Michelle that made it matter. There's a Y and a 3 charging and 2 more 3s parked back here. Now I didn't look to see if they shuffled anything. So whatever count was out front I think is different and not included in the count back here. But that's about right. Anywhere between 6 and 10 Teslas here plus any other EVs. Most Tuesdays. At the Hertz Apex location. There are some clouds up there. I don't like it. Stay away, clouds. No rain before I get home. That would be appreciated. I'm driving here. I'll engage FSD after I get out of the parking lot. I guess technically right now she's willing to let me engage it. Let's see what she does. I have to tell her where I want to go. Yeah, when Neuralink makes it so that the car just knows where I'm headed next, that would be really helpful. Navigate to Whole Foods Waverly Place. Alright, yeah, you guys know it's not very far. 4.1 miles, 9 minutes. I can't engage FSD here at the intersection, but I will after I get on the other side. And this would be another route that, partly because it's so short, I just don't think about engaging autopilot FSD sometimes for these little short 4-mile drives. It just, I don't know. But I don't think I've driven this or tried to let her navigate me from Guardian Angel Apex to Whole Foods before. And you know, coming up to the chiropractor on the turnpike and stuff, sure. Leaving Whole Foods, headed over to the school, sure. Or leaving Whole Foods, headed home, of course. But some of these little short hops I haven't really tried before. But now that she's so smooth and consistent, and you can go. Yeah, it's a turn hour. The intersection looks clear to me. That was totally good enough. We'll make it up here past Regency Parkway, no problem. And I even think that will merge right at the corner where the Walmart here in Cary is, no problem. But after merging right, she needs to pretty much immediately merge to the left, or of course, as a human, I cheat and wait till nobody's coming and then merge out and get into the left lane. Carefully, I mean watchingly, not like I own the road or anything, but I just wait till there's a window so I know that I can get out without a problem, because I'm a rather cautious driver. Anyway, I just really have to wonder if she's going to be able to get me left to get into Whole Foods fast enough. Yeah, it's 0.2 miles, Ruby says, between the right onto Kildare and then the left onto Advent, which is the street for the Whole Foods shopping center. We'll find out here in a minute. Yeah, there's like 2, 3 lights she's got to go through, but it's just all straight here and we're already in the right-hand lane. We turned into the right-hand lane and we stayed in the right-hand lane, so that's all good. I can't believe it. I passed another Tesla driver. It's actually going pretty slow back there. Changing lanes to follow route. Very good. There's an actual open window there for her to do that without any issues. I'm impressed. Very impressed. She didn't wait until the last possible second. She was just a smidge late there with the red light to brake and come around and be visible to this car in her lane. As a human, I would have started slowing a little sooner there, aware that the intersection was congested. Now there's one more light and then the tricky turns. We're coming up here on the Walmart on the right. Traffic slowed up a bit. She slowed up a bit too. I would say that was pretty what I expected there, how I would have handled it. Because unfortunately for full self-driving right now, you have to follow the law, not cause other cars on the road problems, and satisfy your human driver. Now, she did not put on the turn signal, but of course we were already in the lane. Now she put the turn signal on. Alright. There's nobody immediately behind me. There are cars coming. She stopped. I let her do it. My foot was so close to the brake. She has a wide open road after this. So she can go now. She said she can go. Both lanes are open. So if she wants to get out, put on the turn signal, get over. Oh, she handled that so well. I'm so impressed. I am. Now she's got to get into this left turn lane here. There are cones in a truck. It's yellow. She has room stopping for traffic light. Well, it's yellow, so we don't need to stop. We can actually go. She's waiting on this car. I'm letting her wait. Come on. Go, Ruby. I'm tired of waiting. I'm not staying out there in the middle of that intersection with it being that wide open. I think she would have completed the turn. I pulled a Dawn there. Now I'm out of traffic aware cruise control. Because when I jerked the wheel, you know, she didn't take me all the way out. I was pulling a Dawn there and worried about what other people at the intersection were thinking. So I do it too. There's a Y in front of me. There's a 3 over to my right. And I guess that's all I see. Oh, I see a blue Mach-E. Hopefully it'll be a nice, peaceful, quiet trip home. It's mostly straight down to Fuquay, although I will have to get over one lane when the road narrows. She needs to get left, and I'm not convinced she knows that, based on what I'm seeing here. Oh, she did, changing lanes to follow route. You gay, go Ruby. All right. I was fixing to put on the turn signal to lessen my stress. And she got left on her own. Now, I did forget about all the construction up here though. So we'll see what she does when we get to the turnpike area, because this road is not what this road used to be. And I did forget that little nuance of the trip home. So she knows she needs to make a right onto Holly Spring Roads in a little over a mile. But what she may not know, and this could be more of a navigation issue than the car's inability to get through the construction zone, is that the road over here has changed. I think we all know that sometimes it takes a long time for rerouted navigation stuff to catch up. But looking at the map, the aerial view, it sure seems to show the new stretch of road. If I'm reading that correctly, it is showing the new stretch of road. Well, I thought I was recording and I wasn't. Sorry. She handled bypassing the old part of the road. She handled the turn lane here so far not being the way that it should be. She's put on her turn signal. She cannot see to the left, so even she's not pulled up anywhere near far enough. So even if she wanted to go, She does not currently have on her turn signal. Now let me put it on. The guy behind me's got it on. He needs to know. The light's turning yellow. They probably want me to turn right on red. Is she going to go? Okay, I took over. She was not able to complete that, but in all fairness to her, the right turn lane is coned off and turning out of the straight lane. She just didn't seem to be sure she was able to do that. And I might let her play a little bit more with it if there weren't 4 or 5 cars behind me. Like I said, I'm sure they were thinking I should have creeped forward and turned right on red already. So I'm gonna go ahead and re-engage it as soon as the white car's passed. Yeah. All right, well, she did do it. Please keep your hands on the wheel. Oh, me, I didn't like the truck. I didn't like it at all. That would be the driver assistant failing, not full self-driving. Again, it goes back to pleasing the human driver that is babysitting you. Yeah, this road is all messed up over here. From the other day, even as a human driver, I wasn't sure what to do. There used to be a piece of cement, and thank God they have taken that out. But I need to go left here, Ruby. So are you gonna go left? You are. And the car behind me is back there, but not super close. And she's gonna go in the left lane. Now, she could have got through this light if she'd had gotten into the other lane, and she chose not to do that. That lane's just sitting there empty, but it is hard to get left up here, so I didn't change her mind for putting on the turn signal, coming through the intersection, staying in her lane pretty good through the turn. All right, now it's pretty straight back to Fuquay. There's more lane here than used to be before you'd have to be left. It used to be right at this light. Anyway, you got another, I think you got one more light's worth of you can get over than you used to have. No, we're not gonna go around this traffic. I'm turned off the turn signal. I did not disengage, but I turned it off because see, she thinks she'll get over and get around this slow moving traffic. I do not have minimum lane changes turned on. And then she'd find out as soon as she got across that she needed to get back over and she'd be stuck. The cars do seem to get themselves stuck quite often. Failure to, but somebody new to town coming through there might have done the same thing, right? It's like, I think our friend Andy said this weekend, sometimes the car drives like it's, the first time it drove in this town, but then the only problem is it may or may not remember its experience for the next time around. Yeah, if I'd have let her get over, she would have gotten stuck over there, and I would have had to have taken over, and the person behind me would have, just thought I was not a very good driver. But turning off the turn signal did discourage her from getting over and made it so I didn't have to disengage. I'm seeing she's telling me I can get through town quicker if I turn right on Bass Lake and left onto James Slaughter. Basically, coming in on the west side of town instead of coming in on the east and going west. It's sort of the route going to and from Bass Lake Park. I hear they're going to redo that intersection, and there's a whole bunch more homes going in over there. The guy behind me is not super happy. Yeah, I meant to hit it up once, and I actually did a hard hit. Is not happy that I'm abiding by the speed limit, but there have been a lot, and I mean a lot of cops watching for speeders over here in the last couple months. They are, this stretch through here, they've been taking it really seriously. This is not the place to be testing your limits. Anyway, you see in this picture here, that is a really hard turn. That is, 115 degree turn, something like that, 120 degree. I mean, it's a significant turn past 90. And And I think Dawn tried this turn the other day and she didn't, and either Jules or Ruby didn't do too good, so. And the main problem with going around this corner here, okay, I got out, is, like I said, it's just a really hard turn. I didn't realize the left turn lane there for this road was totally open, or I might would have given her a little more opportunity to correctly make that hard turn. She is following the van in front. She waited nicely there. She wanted to follow that van, but she waited. Very nice. Now, when Don, you know, takes Jules out of the beta, it asks him, you know, what happened. I don't get those prompts in Ruby, so I'm not able to pass on any feedback. I feel a little bad for not letting her try a couple of the tricky things on the way home, but it really had a lot to do with the, you know, people waiting, the traffic behind me, not wanting to block people. People already have enough of an attitude about Tesla and maybe autonomous vehicles in the city where they're, you know, currently driving. We don't want to make that any worse than it is. So she's going to come out over here on 55 by the Food Lion, make a left, and then make a right onto Judd Parkway and go in the back way like Dawn did yesterday, coming back from the Lowe's in Holly Springs. We've done okay in Jules with this left turn up here. A little early on the turn signal there. I think that was more about going around the curve than it was about the signal. Thank goodness this double yellow dotted line. Yeah, she's gonna miss this. What is she gonna do? Oh, she's gonna miss it. I'm not missing my turn. Yeah, she will not. And I've seen this over and over again in our little town. She will not get into a turn lane that it's not a dotted white line to get over into the turn lane. She wants to, you know, get into the turn lane at the spot where it's legal to do so. And the thing of it is a lot of these turn lanes are not long enough to hold the amount of traffic that is required, and so the cars are sort of in the turn lane but sticking out, and I don't know what the cars are going to do. I mean, she would have got up to the intersection and either tried to turn left in front of the cars that are waiting, and you can see the paint here, and so something's got to give because the road can't handle the traffic, properly. You want to go here. Let's see if she speeds up going around the corner like Jules did. Oh, am I going to get stopped? I think it's going to turn back to an arrow. No. Going to be a turn on red. There's cars coming. Whoa, whoa. No, 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 no. My assessment was that she was going to go, so I put my foot on the brake. The light had just turned greens, and while I'm not saying that she could, and I'm turning here now on red, I'm not saying that she couldn't have handled it, but the speeding up and beating those cars, but that was not what she should have been doing. So yeah, it's possible there's some confusion back there about it being a free-flowing lane, because partially into the turn it acts like you're turning into a lane, but then it like immediately goes away on the other side of the turn. So I don't know. she's changing lanes to follow route, which is what she needs to do, because as we've seen recently in Jules, the right turn. So far so good through the intersection into the neighborhood. I have cranked down the speed 5 miles an hour more than the speed limit. She was just playing chicken with a couple. I'm impressed with how well she came through the neighborhood. Have to say it. I am. You got plenty of time before that vehicle. I came down the driveway and I really feel like that tree has shifted some more. We'll be calling someone and I'll be hoping it doesn't move. Hey buddy. I've been sitting out here with him calling people for estimates about the tree removal. And it's not raining and it's very pleasant, and he's just been happy to have his mama by him for a while. I'm sorry we had a rainy 3 days. I love you, buddy. He's a good boy. That's a good boy. I'm going to pick up on my house where I left off yesterday. I think there's 22 steps for bag 1. Like I said, there's somewhere between 5 and 15 pieces per step going in. So that doesn't seem like a lot of steps, but it's a good number of pieces.
Alright, so the hot water heater is in service mode. The T2 sensor is reading 133 degrees, which is the tank temperature. Supposed to, I have it set to heat up to 140. This is the DRM, but I'm not, it's hooked up, but I'm not actually using it. I've added a Shelly 1 to it, and the Shelly 1 is a Wi-Fi switch, dry contact, and so it's hooked up. That wire that's not hooked up, I was just making sure the after I made all the connections that it's working before I make that last one. Okay, it's now hooked up, and as I said, it's reading 134, 133. So here goes. This should go up to some high value like 160 or something. Turn GeoSpring on.
Okay.
Ooh, it says 155. Looks good. So the purpose of this is so that the I control when it runs, and it won't run during peak. Turn GeoSpring off.
Okay.
Give it a second here. 133. I do believe, Houston, we have a local control of our water heater. Way cool. Probably didn't explain well enough. What I have done is that's a thermistor resistor that varies its value based on temperature. There was a chart in the service manual that said what the range it was, so I put another resistor in. When that Shelly 1 is active or closed, it will put a resistor in parallel with the internal sensor thermistor, and the parallel resistance is high enough that it will fake out the computer to think it's the tank is actually very hot. So I've decided to put a power meter on the outdoor unit of our heat pump. I cut a thin piece of metal to mount the power meter in there. It uses a coil slipped over one of the conductors, and hopefully it's going to work here. I'll stand back. Well, that's a good sign. It lit up. Let's see, it's reading 245 volts, 0.24 amps, 43.7 watts. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I will reset this June 1st, which is the day after tomorrow. I wanted to get this thing up and working right now. So I went in and turned on bumped the thermostat down, called for cooling, so we could see. Let's see, she's reading 245 volts, 3.85 amps. She's drawing about 800, 900 watts right now, and that's probably good, alright, because this is a scroll compressor. It's 2-speed, so it's running on low speed right now, and so you know, this 4 amps or so is probably about right. Plus it's not incredibly hot today. You know, if it was 95 degrees out here, the amount of work done by the compressor would be significant. Right now the house is 74 and it's about 71 outside, so you know, what is it, the Carnot cycle says that there ain't that much difference, so the compressor's not having to work that hard.
It's 6:15. I'm up to step 14. It's coming along. I'm going to pull the first camera card for the night. I'll probably pull it again when I get back from Taekwondo. Dawn's got on Now You Know. Yeah, I coughed over the... Ford already had access to 10,000. I was like, 10,000 versus 12,000. I'm like, that is not right. And they brought that up today, so good for them. Because I didn't think to articulate it, even though the thought kind of flashed through my head. Don's done with his project. He recorded us some videos, and he's got his ears on in there trying to take a nap. Johnny dropped off at Taekwondo. I'm so glad he's able to go back and see his friends and move around a bit. You know, now that he's out of school, the social networking at Taekwondo is even more important than during the school year. I was going to go to Big Lots just to browse for a few minutes because I was in Walmart yesterday, but that cloud looks pretty serious over to the east. So first thing I'm going to do is see if I need to go get Jules, because Ruby did not get wet today and I don't want her to get wet. There's 0% probability of rain through midnight, and there's no rain on the radar, not a zero, nothing. So I guess I'm going to ignore that big cloud. My weather girl spidey senses are telling me that there's a chance it could pretty much rain, but I'm going to go with science versus my gut. I'm just browsing home decor and outdoor stuff, fairy garden stuff. They have a good selection here. Just give me something to do. Like I said, I went to Walmart yesterday because I needed stuff, so no need to go back today. Let me push one of these carts in. I found a mushroom house. Check out these planters. But it's $200 for 3 of them. They're big. They're big though. They have some nice stuff in the outside section. I like the outside one for a fountain, but I don't know what you would do with the 2 smaller ones. So there's townhomes coming in here behind the Chick-fil-A. I knew it was just a matter of time before they used up that piece of land. The traffic in and out of there, that little spot with the Dunkin' Donuts and the Applebee's and the Chick-fil-A, it is not good on any day. So please tell me how that's going to work, and it's me driving, not Ruby. Please tell me how that's going to work. Maybe, I don't know. You can get out the back, but